Okay, so in the category of things that I think some of you are going to think I'm crazy, I have another project that I'm going to walk you through, and it's making a pretty big change in my front yard garden, the slope garden that I showed in yesterday's video. I can't remember. I think I may have mentioned that there was a plant in there that was really just not kind of earning its keep, and perfectly good plant. It's just a plant that I'm done with. Practicing what I preach, I am ready to say goodbye to this Ito peony here that has been on this corner. And I'm doing that because it just doesn't, it takes up a lot of room. And when it does bloom profusely, it's very fleeting. The blooms maybe last about a week. They're absolutely gorgeous. They always capture people's attention when they go by and get admired, and that's fun. That's all well and good. But for the rest of the year, it is occupying a lot of space, and it's not doing much more. So I'm going to take it out, and some of you are going to say, "Holy cow! I'm shocked! I'm shocked." Other of you may have been watching my channel for a while and realize that I do this somewhat frequently. So, anyways, out it goes, and I'm going to rework this corner, give me a chance to grow some different plants that I haven't grown before. And one of the things that's really driving it is this guy. So this is a ground covering Picea pungens procumbens, beautiful blue foliage. I ran into this specimen the other day, and I'm and I'm just trying. I wanted to find a place for it in my garden. I've admired it from afar. It's been growing along in one of my client gardens, and I've always just thought it was a fantastic plant that I'd like to include in my garden. So I'm going to do that. I know that's going in there. Also, this rhododendron the other day, I couldn't resist. I picked it up. It's totally the type of coloring that I love. It'll look fantastic with that blue. And so those are two of the anchors that I'm going to go ahead and put into that space. And I'm sure I'll think of some other things to do in there as well. But I'm going to go ahead and do this, even though I am going to have my garden open for my fellow HPSO members this not this Monday, but the following Monday. So this is going to be newly planted, and that's okay because I want to do it now because the weather is fantastic for planting, and who knows what the next weeks are going to bring. We could be in for hot weather, and I may not have as good an opportunity to make this change later. So stay tuned.
I think that was it.
Woohoo! Oh my gosh. Woo! Ha! Victory! See you later, pal. That was fun. Off to a new home. And just like that, a new era is about to begin for the northwest corner. You can see I just have a lot of opportunity in there. And sometimes what happens is, and I always tell this to clients, is that you do a big change, and once I get this planted, you're never going to know that you can make big changes and not be left feeling naked and exposed if you've got other established plants that are well established, that are creating the frame for your garden. So don't be afraid to make big changes if something just isn't making you happy. So I'll give you an update here as soon as I figure out the plantings, or at least the first stage of plantings. And we're back at the front yard garden, and the change has been made. So I'm going to walk you through that, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the plants. But then the other thing that I want you to notice is the color connections that we were able to make. And so let me show you some of the main plants that we added to the new area. This is the blue conifer that we kind of built this change around. And we did the peachy coppery toned rhododendron. That was an important plant. And then we filled it in with some of the existing plants that I had here. So one of the things that we're seeing more of and better is this Clematis durandii, which is a non-vining clematis that makes a great ground cover. So it was buried behind that Ito peony. So now it's going to actually be out in the sun and be able to fill that space there really well. I also moved an existing species rhodie that was in there. It doesn't look like much, but it's a very cool plant that I hope will like its new position better. It's a little tucked back and won't get as much of the direct sun. And let's see, these guys were existing little ground huggers. And then I added this this fastigiate osmanthus. So that's a pretty dwarf evergreen punctuation mark for the far corner. And those other two boundary evergreens were existing. So that's a Cephalotaxis fastigiata, and that's a Lonicera nitida, and I can't remember the cultivar name, but it's kind of a nice bright yellow variegation. And then we're also seeing kind of the plantings up top there, which were pretty much blocked before. So I've got a really cool sparkly foliaged hemlock up there. So that's Tsuga canadensis moonfrost. And now here's a good transition to what I want to talk about is the color connections, both the ones that I knew were going to happen and then the ones that were kind of serendipitous discoveries. So one thing that really got reinforced with this change was the repetition of the corally orange coppery tones. And so these down here, that's a Heuchera Southern Comfort, little Agastache that's going to be in that light orange tones, and then the sedums. So I knew I was going to be making a connection. I just didn't realize how strong, how it really just knits together. And it's like I did another video recently about making color connections, and I'm going to put that down as a link in the description, and I encourage you to check that out because it's one of the ways that you can just make your garden hold together and make sense and 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 grow a lot of different plants that then work together. So this rhododendron, it's getting to the end of its bloom, still looks pretty good. It's going to be a great boundary plant and a fantastic bloom. It's a rather late blooming rhododendron. But here's one thing that I hadn't noticed when I was making this change is up there, there's a Martagon lily that is in that same tone that will bloom at the same time. And those two together are going to look fantastic. The section up here wasn't even visible to us when we had that big old fat Ito peony right there. And so that was kind of a bonus, if you will. And all of these, so down through here, I've done a lot of changes. Things are going to really bulk up and fill in even later this summer. I've got some perennials in there that will be blooming a little later. Fun little echinacea. I've also got a grass in there that's going to be part of the late season garden. It's a muley grass, so it's very late to peak. And I'm just really so happy that I made this change. And if I had any message for you, I think it's that don't be afraid to, make changes because you can. And there's no sense not doing so. Just go ahead, garden for yourself, make yourself happy, And if something is not doing it for you, don't be afraid to make the change.